Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series. Beep 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 boop 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 beep 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 boop 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 beep 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 boop boop boop. This just in, this is the shortest chapter in this book, so we'll see how short this episode is.
Do you think this is the shortest chapter ever in the Harry Potter books? Is there one that is shorter than this? I don't think so.
The books are all longer from here on out, but there could be maybe there's a weird 2-page chapter somewhere.
I really don't know. I'm trying to remember, but I think this is the only one that's this short. A mere 13 pages. How much was it in your book? 2?
3.
3.
Yeah. Arri, how are you feeling? You are
post-COVID.
Post-COVID.
As you can hear in my voice. Good. I don't really have any congestion anymore, but I have Kleenex here if I need it. Got my trusted Mucinex.
Yeah.
It's mainly just the cough.
You don't sound too bad, to be honest.
No, it's mainly just the cough. As I say that, it's mainly just the cough that's hanging on, which I feel like in my family is the thing that hangs on. So thankfully that's all. But yeah, I survived. I made it through. Honestly, everyone keeps saying I'm lucky that I got it before the wedding, and they're probably right. It would have been real scary to still not have had COVID as the wedding was approaching. I would have been like,
yeah. But
it's fine. Neither here nor there. I've survived. Adam, you still have not had COVID, have you?
I mean, not symptomatic COVID, at least.
Yeah, symptomatic.
If I've had COVID, I've never been symptomatic, which doesn't seem like it would be possible since I have asthma. I feel like it would.
Oh yeah, me, no, right? I feel like you would definitely know.
Yeah.
I was like, the first symptoms I had were I was really dizzy, and that was before I even knew that it was COVID. Like I just remember feeling really dizzy randomly, and I was like, why am I feeling this weak? And then Wednesday night I was driving home, and it was just like I literally could not drive. I had to pull over. It was very bad. It was like my whole body was just like, no, shutting down.
Well, LA is the perfect place to, not be able to drive.
Adam,
there's no better place.
Adam, when I tell you, it was the worst traffic I have been in months. And I was literally sitting there full body chills, just being like, I can do it. I can make it home. And then eventually I was like, I can't. I can't.
I can't. I'm so sorry. I can't.
I pulled off in Burbank. And then I tried to call Michael and his phone was dead. So then I called my mom. And then Michael called me back. And then I told him where I was and he had to come get me. It was fun.
Did you get some groceries delivered to your door?
I did. Adam and RJ sent me some groceries. They sent me some angel hair pasta. RJ and my favorite. And a whole rotisserie chicken. And frosting. My favorite Adam touch. Right? Oh yeah, and root beer and the what do you call it?
We went back into the episodes to see which root beer you drink.
I know he told me they didn't have the 0 sugar root beer. I was like, it's okay. Yeah. You probably have some real sugar, but what was and then the Pedialyte, which helped me that first day. I had the Pedialyte immediately.
You gotta.
But yeah, thank you. That was very sweet.
Arri, this is not what we're here to discuss. We're not here to discuss your illness.
Could have fooled me. Isn't that
Harvey
what this
Porter.
is about? Isn't that what this whole podcast is about?
The only illness we discuss is our anxiety on this pod.
I mean, that is quite the illness, so you're not wrong.
This week we read chapter 32 called Flesh, Blood, and Bone. Arri, what happens in this very quick chapter?
Harry witnesses a death and a resurrection. We get both.
Yeah. Yeah,
he sees both in a matter of minutes, maybe even seconds. In the matter of a minute.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was a minute when this happened to him, or maybe 5. I know the chapter is longer than that, but I feel like it was pretty quick. It's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah. We get some of the most advanced magic of the book series so far in this chapter.
Yeah, I have some questions. Is this a spell? Is this a potion? Are they is it an
incantation?
A hybrid? A spotion?
This is whatever this spell is, whatever he's saying is coming out of like the book that the book from Hocus Pocus. That's where this is coming from.
He got this from the restricted section, honey. This might even be a banned book.
For sure.
This is the spell that we're gonna find out that Horace Slughorn was talking about later. Because where else? So is it a potion? Because Horace knows about it. Girl, that
I thought
that it's a potion.
We'll have to get to Horace Slughorn when we get to Horace Slughorn, which is not until book 6. So we'll get there eventually. But for some reason, I always thought that Horace Slughorn gave him the information about Horcruxes.
He did, but that's my guess is that this is tied into the Horcruxes, because how did he come back to life? It has to be a Horcrux thing. Right?
Yeah, but then wouldn't he know that Harry's a Horcrux? Because he uses him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like he would have had to. If he's using Harry's blood, then my answer is leaning towards yes. But I feel like I just don't know. I don't know if she knew. There's not enough proof for me to think that she knew at this point.
We know that Voldemort knows that Lily's love saved Harry.
Mm-hmm. He's going to talk about it in the next chapter. That's the whole reason
he sure will.
Blood. So,
spoiler alert.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Arri, before we move on, we have to really quick. We had a listener who views our podcast on YouTube.
A viewing listener?
A viewing listener who wanted to point out last week I had said something about how I was like, sexual assault doesn't really happen in the Harry Potter book series, which is kind of surprising. And then you pointed out that like there is kind of like a metaphorical pedophilia with Fenrir. But also we should bring up that love potions, which is how Voldemort exists, is sexual assault.
Yeah.
Now,
no consent.
Correct. Does it check out that Joe Rowling made the supervillain of everything a woman because she's the one who started this entire chain of events? Are any of us surprised? Are we surprised?
No. This desperate woman! How dare she? She ruined everything. We can blame her. Oh my God.
I guess when I said there was no sexual assault in the series, I meant more like textual in real time sexual assault that was happening.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of as well.
We don't know what Piers Polkiss is up to, though, when Harry's at school. You know what I mean? We have no idea.
He's the one.
He feels like the one to me. Rat-faced boy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Arri, take it away.
So this chapter starts out with the boys being immediately transported to what they soon discover is a graveyard. And they very quickly kind of, take in their surroundings, and they see, obviously, the graveyard they're standing in, a church and a hill, and then a very handsome manor. So the readers, I think, are able to deduce that this is the Riddle House pretty quickly, because we were, in the bird's eye view chapter of Frank. What's his last name? Frank. Frank, one name. Like Cher.
Like Madonna, like Beyonce. Frank.
We were
Frank Bryce.
Frank Bryce, yes. we were in the bird's eye view chapter of Frank Bryce, so we know where this is. But neither of them really know where they are, obviously, because how would they? They've never been here before. And neither of them knew it was a port key. Cedric's like, did anyone mention to you that this was a port key? And Harry's like, nope. So then Cedric suggests maybe this is part of the task, which Cedric, it's just like so pure. Like, do you think maybe this is just like part of what we're supposed to be doing? Like just like wishful thinking. And then he's like, let's just get our wands out to be safe. Was it weird to you that they just watched this figure approach them from so far away? Is this go ahead.
It's very, this is very different in the film because it is almost immediate that Cedric is taken out in the movie. This in the book, the figure comes from like the shadows of the cemetery and then walks toward them carrying something. And then they just stare at each other, like standing still for like at least a few seconds, if not longer. And then Voldemort has to literally be like, you have to get rid of the other one. What are we doing?
Is this a moment where like the fact that I grew up as a young woman is showing? Because I'm sorry, the closer that someone gets to me, I am walking in the opposite direction. Would you be standing there? I don't know this person. There is no way I'm just standing there.
Yeah, I think the craziest, I think it's not an unreasonable thing that both Harry and Cedric maybe think like, oh, maybe there is like an extra part of the task, because once again, they were told that their loved ones were going to die at the end of the second task.
This is a twist.
So maybe they were like, oh, this is just this version of that. Unfortunately,
like, they were just attacked, or Cedric was just attacked by Crumb in the maze. So like, I just don't understand how they're just standing there. They're literally like, the way I read it, I was like, it sounds like this is taking a long time for this figure to get to them. And they're both just like, no, move, go to the port key. What are we doing? Like, I just was like, this is why you need women's intuition. My gut would have been like, absolutely not. I don't know who that is. We are leaving. Get to the port key. Like, my little alarm, women's intuition alarm would have been going off. I don't like this.
Yeah. It's really awful. You can't see the person's face. They're so cloaked. That alone, just that idea, no. The only cloaked thing that we don't see their face, Dementors. You know, it's bad, Dementors.
It's carrying something in its arms.
A plus B equals C.
Right. I don't know. I was just like,
oh, Arri, I cannot wait to show you this photo of what. Okay, we'll have to get there.
I can only imagine. I'm sure it's gorgeously terrifying. Is it him being resurrected? Is that what it is?
Oh, you'll see.
Okay.
You'll see all the photos.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. Oh, this is perfect.
There one? Yeah, there is no way. There is no way I'm standing in that cemetery and just waiting for that person to approach me. Even if I have a
fully
fucking
bathed
wand.
in just moonlight.
And fog. Creepy ass fog that literally could be like spirit fog. No way. There's no way.
Yeah. Orbs. There's spirit orbs.
Yeah. No way. So there's a figure walking towards them holding something in its arms, and they just stand there, apparently. And then Harry's scar starts burning like it has never burned before. It is excruciating. He can't move. He's incapacitated. And I think I understand why she did this, because he cannot help Cedric at all. He can't warn him. He can't tell him duck or to get back to the cup or what. He can't help him at all because he is just in excruciating pain. So pretty much immediately after that, while Harry is just writhing in pain, a high-pitched voice says, "Kill the spare." And then the cloaked figure kills Cedric pretty much right away.
Yeah, it's also the like audacity of just calling him the spare. Like,
I know.
I don't know. There's just like it's awful and disrespectful, which is like it's already awful because he murders him.
Yeah.
But there's something like extra villainous by just being like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
he
just a
doesn't-
body. Just get rid of the body.
He doesn't see any worth in Cedric at all, which is that sounds like Voldemort. So Harry, I think he throws up first. He like is literally in so much pain that he just like vomits, and then he knows that what he's about to see, but it's kind of like the train wreck effect where you like can't look away, and so he knows that he's gonna see Cedric, and sure enough, he sees Cedric lying on the ground dead, and his mouth is open like in surprise, and he mentions that his gray eyes are just like unseeing, that like vacant expression when the life has like gone out of someone. Cedric Diggory is a wonderful character. He's just like such a good guy. So this, I think it makes sense why Cedric Diggory was the character that was chosen for this to happen with, because it's just like the whole wrong place, wrong time. He was a wonderful person. He didn't do anything to wind up in this situation other than like be a good person and make it to the end of the task. And then him and Harry decided to split it together because it's like the honorable thing to do. And then he ends up getting transported to the cemetery and just killed, even though he didn't do anything wrong. So I think in terms of like, I think it was always going to be Cedric. Like thinking of it through a writer's standpoint, I don't think there was any way that like it was going to be Fleur or Crumb that was going to end up in the cemetery with him.
Yeah.
It was always going to be Cedric just because he's so described as the golden boy. Which I feel like that's a pretty common plot device, you know, that it's like just like the good guy, the good guy getting taken out by the bad guy for no other reason than
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah.
Obi-Wan. Hello there. So the man, Harry sees Cedric lying on the grass. Right after that, the man, who we still don't know who this man is, drags Harry to the grave that is marked Tom Riddle. So now Harry's starting to put it together, and then he realizes that the man in the cloak is Wormtail. And then he's like put the bundle of whatever this is on the ground, and Harry doesn't want to look at the bundle. But he sees that it's like moving around, and he's like, oh, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see. And then out of nowhere, a giant snake shows up. So Nagini has arrived. And she literally comes and like makes an appearance and then just like dips. She just is like, I'm just getting a peek at my dinner. Thank you. Goodbye. Like she just slithers in and slithers out. So she's got places to be. And then Wormtail brings...
Famously, Nagini's a Korean woman, so we obviously have to say 안녕하세요, Nuna. 안녕하세요.
Nuna. 안녕, Nuna. Oh my God. So Nagini dips out. And then Wormtail brings a cauldron close to the grave, and the cauldron is big enough for like a man to sit inside it. And I was like, Wormtail's carrying this or like pushing this? I don't know if
Again,
I believe
why are people not using magic in the wizard? Like, what's going on?
Pick it up with your wand. Why wouldn't you have him Aloha Mora it? I don't understand. That thing is so heavy.
Or Wingardium Leviosa. Maybe not unlock a door spell.
That's what I was thinking. Wingardium Leviosa, not Aloha Mora. Wingardium Leviosa it. Why doesn't he do that? I was like, girl, So that doesn't really make sense.
Right. Last chapter we learned about a spell called Point Me. So maybe there's a spell called, Push It.
Push it. Push it real good. Push it.
Bam,
It's
bam,
like
bam, bam,
the
bam,
bop
bam.
it. Bop it.
Yeah.
Pull it.
Flick it.
Oh, not flick it. Wormtail brings this cauldron next to the grave, and then he starts unwrapping whatever is in the robes, and it is nasty. First off, it's described as reddish black, and it was never reddish black.
Now. I sent it to you.
Oh. 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 Whoa. This is way worse.
It's a no from me. I'll say that.
Wow, that's horrifying. Are you going to put this on the screen right now?
Yeah.
That's horrifying. The head is extra horrifying.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's in between us.
It's horrifying.
Am I facing the wrong way? No, I'm facing the right way.
Ooh, I just looked at the second picture you sent too. That's also scary. Yeah. So that's what is in this bundle. So Harry screams because he's like, "What the
wrapped in
fuck?
Swaddling clothes, lying in a manger."
Away in a manger. Just that thing.
No crib for Voldy.
For Voldy. So Harry's screaming in horror. Wormtail goes to pick it up, and this was the part that really icked me out. It lifts up its arms to be
and
carried
holds
up.
on to him.
Yeah, and it holds on to him. I was like, I was just
like a sloth.
Like a nightmare sloth. Yeah, I was like, oh God, no. So then he lifts him up, and then Harry briefly sees this disgusting creature illuminated from the water, which he kept describing as the top is looking like crystals. That I was like, it's just really sparkly. What does he mean, crystals? Just shining? Must be.
Shining diamonds.
Shining diamond, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm the diamond. The fetus starts rapping. Let me show you how it's supposed to be done right here. Vernon. So then he plops Wormtail. He is in Wormtail. Plops the Voldemort fetus into the cauldron. And then Wormtail.
I love that Harry's first reaction to it being plopped in the cauldron is, I hope it drowns. It literally goes, I hope it drowns.
Yeah. He keeps saying it. He's like, I hope, let it drown. And I was like, yeah, honestly. If only. Can you imagine? And then it all went black.
And then the series is over. Yeah.
And then Wormtail bopped around without his hand, and then that was it. So Wormtail begins muttering the incantation, or it has to be an incantation. Is an incantation mixed with a spell? No, because incantations a lot of times are read from a spell book. What is Hogwarts for? I'm sorry. What are you Hogwarts for? You can just mutter a spell with these ingredients, and then that's fine.
Was it just his mnemonic, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? This was just how he was remembering all the ingredients.
Yeah. It's not even really an incantation. He's just these are his notes. He
my very
wrote it on
eager
the back
mother
of a grave.
Just sat something. I don't remember the planet one.
The planet one. Oh yeah, what was the planet one?
My very eager mother.
Wasn't there a never eat soggy grape? What was that?
Just served us 9 pickles. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
Mom just served us 9 pickles.
Your mother just served us 9 pickles. And Arri lived.
And I was living it up. I live. Sorry, listeners, it's back. Oh, and so is the cough.
She don't live.
I won't live. I did. I lived through COVID. He brings the bone of the father.
The bone of the father.
Wormtail brings the bone of the father. He donates the flesh of the servant willingly given. This man cuts off was it his right hand or his left hand? I don't remember. He cuts off one of his hands.
He cuts off a hand.
I'm going to guess it's whatever isn't his dominant hand.
Can I just say, do we think...
I wonder if you're going to say
Okay, first of all, I have a question. I have a question about the bone.
Okay.
So he just says the bone of the father unwillingly given, and then the earth shakes, and from the grave, the bone just pops out like Accio Firebolt.
Yeah.
And flies into the pot. Okay. Wild.
What spell was that?
What spell was that? 2, the flesh of the servant happily betrothed.
Willingly given. Happily betrothed upon thee. Happily bestowed upon thee, my lord.
Did it have to be his whole hand? This is a man who already is very clearly ready to give up a digit.
Yeah, cut off another finger.
Cut off his pinky, or your pinky toe. Technically, doesn't do anything. It doesn't provide any balance.
Give your little pinky toe.
Get rid of it. Give a little pinky toe.
Yeah, I don't know why he had to cut off his whole hand. For Voldemort was like, no, we need the full hand. Also, I don't know.
There has to be enough flesh.
I feel like he would have had to chop his hand off with an axe. I don't believe that a knife cut through the bone of his hand.
He'd have to be a very good surgeon to know exactly where the joint is perfectly placed to slice through it.
Yeah. Even then, I'm
Are you even
my own
able
wrist.
to? Isn't it the thing where you can't actually hurt yourself in that way because it's I guess he's crazy. So.
He's
and I don't mean that. I don't mean that pejoratively. I mean he's probably mentally unstable.
Yeah.
This person.
This man is. So we've got the bone of. Excuse me. We've got the bone of the father, the flesh of the servant willingly given, and then the bone of the father forcibly taken, the flesh of the servant willingly given, and the blood of the enemy forcibly taken too? What is the bone of the father? There's got to be another.
Unwillingly given.
Unwillingly given? Okay.
I think it's unwillingly given.
Given, then willingly given, and then the blood of the enemy is forcibly taken. So he cuts Harry. And then he has a little vial to put Harry's blood in, and I was like, okay.
I mean, anyway. He came prepared. Listen, you can't say that Wormtail is not a prop comedy icon. Okay, he's got daggers. He's got red comedy icons. He's got vials. He's got spells.
He's got his own hand. He just cut off.
He's got his own hand.
So then Harry is once again saying, "Please let it drown. Please let it drown." It does not. All of a sudden, there is just this massive amount of white steam that comes out of the cauldron. And then Voldemort rises up from said cauldron. And he's naked. Because he asks to be robed.
Yeah, he's nude.
So he's nude. He naked. And then Wormtail gives him a robe. And Wormtail puts this robe on him after just cutting off his hand. So he's literally like...
getting the blood everywhere.
How are you? Can you imagine?
It's very...
He's definitely shorter than him. So he's like having to like reach up.
It's very Monty Python when he's like, oh, it's just a wee bit of
flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound.
Yeah. Oh,
and then he's just
a scratch. And that's it. Voldemort.
And that's the chapter. I mean, that truly is the chapter.
Again.
Here's the photo of Voldemort standing in the coffin or in the cauldron. Skinny legend. We'll say that. Okay. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Am I right?
I don't know. Let's not.
I always said, listen, I always said, why not? I want to be just like Joe.
Yeah, Joe, what are you trying to say, girl? Come on now. This is too far.
I always said that Voldemort, was a twink. And am I wrong? Here he is.
Flesh, blood, and bone. More like skin and bone.
Flesh, blood, and bone.
Am I right?
Is that it? It's just those 3 ingredients?
That's it.
Flesh, blood, and bone.
You can resurrect your own Voldy. Literally ridiculous.
Voldy.
Ridiculous.
No, that's for Boggarts.
Voldy.
No, ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say ridiculous. It must have cut out when you said that.
You said it. You said ridiculous. It's fine.
Oh, no, I just meant ridiculous is not as in the spell, as in like.
No, I
insane.
know. I was just, we're word associating.
Okay. It went right over my head.
I got a
text. No, I'm not still sick, but I am still out of it.
Well, Arri, thank you so much. I believe that was the chapter. Next week, we'll be reading chapter 33 called The Death Eaters. So that'll be something. And then we have like 2 more chapters after that where it's the same night. We're in for a long haul of this specific day in Harry Potter's life. We do not have a new review.
What else?
And you know what? I'm just like, this is the energy. This is the energy. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it. If you don't want to review us, it's on you. It's not on me. It's what I'm giving I'm providing the content.
I'm giving the content every week, honey.
Honey, I'm doing the work. I'm the one supplying the, TikTok sounds to the backing of episodes for everyone to enjoy. I don't.
Yes, thank you for doing that. Did RJ tell you what I was referring to? Or did you figure it out? Okay.
Well, no, I looked up. I think I just YouTubed dramatic Twitter sound, and then it was the first video, and I was like, this sound. And then when I heard you, because I cut out the part of you trying to explain what the sound is, but I heard you do it, and I was like, oh.
I still don't have an answer. Why are they there? Why?
You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and on Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect nude score. 5 stars only, or else you'll also be murdered.
You'll be the spare.
That's what happens in this chapter. You'll be the spare. Honey,
Yes?
Honey, are you in the trunk of my car? Because you're looking like a spare, honey.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. I apologize on behalf of the pod, anxious millennials.
I couldn't remember
so
the
sorry.
word trunk. I couldn't remember
The boot.
I was like, what is the back of the car called?
The boot.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter on Twitter and Instagram at HB Anxious, and YouTube and TikTok at the Ampliverse. We are hosted on Anchor and recorded on Zencaster, so thank you to the both of them, and we are a proud member of the Ampliverse. Please check them out at theampliverse.com.
Please.
Thanks, Arri.
Thanks.
And as always, Avada Kedavra.
As always. As always.
As always.
Die.
Death.